Isn't this is weird, man. I feel like, I don't know if you ever were young and you'd get invited to like a party and then you thought you were on the list and you weren't sure. And then there's like some bouncer that somebody's mom's paid and then the mom's like, hi, Nick, I'll go check if you're on the list. I'm not sure. And then you stand out. You know what I mean? Like when you're waiting to join these Zoom meetings.
I know. I feel the same way. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I'm the host.
Yeah. Thanks for making some time for me, by the way. I really appreciate it. I'm not sure what sort of time it is for you now and how you're doing, but I assume you're well?
Yeah, I'm chilling. It's fine. I'm absolutely happy to speak to you.
Thank you. I was checking in. So you're the second artist that I've come across now that has come out of the Byron Bay scene in Australia. And I've been so fascinated by it over the last couple of years. And I mean, I know that your sort of rise with everything has also happened kind of, in the window frame of like basically since 2018, last 2 years. Is it really how I imagine it to be, that kind of busking scene where it's sort of a sense of like, you're out there and you're required just by what you're creating to convince people to take time out of their day to listen to you and not somebody else? It seems like a very competitive space.
I think busking, in the city is very competitive. I did busk in the city a few times. So I didn't like that. So I went to a place where people are always on holidays and just the town is known for its buskers. People go there for it. And it's a really small beach town that's full of tourists. So most people are on holidays. So everyone's not really traveling around to get to their job and can only stop for one. They'll usually spend a whole night going around the whole town and watching all the buskers.
Tell me, I mean, for somebody like you, when everything that's gone on now has happened, was there a point at which you sort of realized everything that was going on was going to have to take a bit of a break and a bit of a change? I mean, where were you when sort of news of the pandemic hit your world?
I was in Berlin and I was about to play a show in Berlin, and then we had to cancel the show, and then the show the following night was cancelled, and then 5 after that we knew we were definitely cancelled, and then all of a sudden, bang, we got the email it was getting officially declared a pandemic, and so we got the bus back to Amsterdam overnight and flew home straight away. Just to make sure everyone was just, home. We'd obviously never lived through a pandemic before. And now I've just been at home writing an album and playing basketball.
Sort of wanted to ask you, kind of how you'd chosen to spend the time. I guess it's interesting, right? Because the world's put on pause, but it's at this point where there's so much momentum in your career. And I'm sure, so many people who are wanting so much from you. Do you think in a way it's kind of like nice? Do you speak to some artists who have this meteoric rise and it's only like 5-10 years down the line where they have this opportunity to sort of stop and take cognizance of what's gone on in the last couple of years? Do you think in some way that you were allowed the personal opportunity to do that?
I was completely, in it 100% and ready to put in all this work and this whole world tour that was sold out. And what am I going to tour off a song that was released 3 years ago after this pandemic? So I need to put that to the back of me. My EP is in the past now. Focus on my album and look towards my future, because it's the thing is, if you release a song like that, which, sometimes isn't amazing. Sometimes people think it's amazing. Sometimes it can be the death of you, but you only have a certain amount of time to tour and play shows off that EP. And, you can't release that EP, wait 2 years and then go, I'm going to tour off this song. No, the world's over it. The only thing I can do now is work on an album, look out for my fans and hope to God that they still support me through this pandemic. I
mean, there's something in a person that dictates how they would handle or relate to anything like this. But, despite the fact that it's unprecedented, it seems to me like from what you're saying, though, that in your career anyway, you would always, just as an artist, you'd always consider yourself like as good as your last performance, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like always wanting and striving to do better and create more, whether there was this pandemic or not. I mean, you probably, as from what you're saying, would have felt that way about a single like Dance Monkey. You would have wanted desperately to try and top that, and you would have worked really hard at that anyway.
So they say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do before.
The Dance Monkey Monkey has never been and still isn't my favorite track that I've written, that I've put the most effort into and that I'm proud of. And I think the most important thing for me is to keep being proud of what I'm writing and looking after my emotions with my music. Like if I'm frustrated, write a song about it and don't box myself in. And I think I've written a song like Dance Monkey. Honestly, the song like lived and died with me. That song got
Oh,
played
wow.
so much that when that song came out, it was different. And now no one can copy it because people are over it, over the style. Like it's like almost when like if a different song came out and songwriters go, oh my God, this song's doing so well, we're going to try and write a song like that. Well, my song got played so much around the world that if you wrote a song that was pretty much exactly like Dance Monkey or similar like that, people are like, oh, we've heard it and we're on to the next kind of song. And that's how my brain works anyway. So like I couldn't go back and write a song like that because I've already listened to it more than anyone else, played it more than anyone else, will continue to play it my whole life. So like I just kind of moved on. I'm writing like just different songs now, whatever makes me feel happy, and that's how I've always done it. And but I'm still proud of Dance Monkey. I'll always be proud of it.
Sort of with the momentum of something comes an expectation from somebody. And as you say, especially, the further down the road with anything in life that you go, that's always going to accelerate to some extent. I think that's natural. I'd wondered, with You're So Effing Cool, that party that you talk about, that you said that was that like post all of this, post kind of people inviting you, I imagine, to like everything, or was it a story from way back?
No, I think I wrote this song about like, cause obviously I lived two really different lives in the space of 8 months, like living in my car, playing music on the street, to like meeting all, like being on Ellen, Jimmy Fallon, meeting P. Diddy, Macklemore, Khalid. It's like it was such a different life. And can I just quickly say, meeting all those people, they were all extraordinary people. The party has nothing to do with them. I'm just like showing the difference in lifestyles. But there was this party I got invited to, and it was apparently one of those parties that's super exclusive, and that if you weren't invited, you like wanted to be invited, which I've never really cared about that stuff. I know people feel like that about things. People care, especially with so many influence online now. Everyone thinks they're famous. So there was a lot of people at the party that just wanted to post that they were there. No one wanted to chat. No one wanted to talk. It's just the vibe in the room was just like everyone just wanted to say they were there, and it was just we're way too cool. This is what I do. This, and I was like, I'm going. And then I just like got an Uber back to my hotel room and just like watched Netflix with my best friend. And then I wrote a song about it. And I think that people need to realize you should feel way more blessed if you have a good group of friends that come round and you guys make burgers or have a barbecue and just have laughs and just spill beer everywhere and just have a laugh like that. You should feel way more privileged. That is the life. And yeah, I just wanted to like kind of write about my experience at one of those fancy parties.
That's awesome. I mean, I get, I mean, anything imagined is obviously going to be some sense of delusion. A person can't be anything aside from, unless you know them personally, they can't really add anything to your life. It's all, anything else is just, in my opinion, is some sense of a delusion. Are you still in a rad space, with writing and working and stuff like that, where it's no problem, you can make a song about whatever you want to make a song about? Or do you have certain people that are like, somewhere floating around you that go, there's a lot of commercial success at the moment, maybe don't put an F word in the title of a song?
No, because that's such a big issue in the music industry. I know that. I know it is, and that's a really fair question. But I'm lucky enough to be someone that didn't want to sign with anyone, but then I happened to find some really good people, and they would never tell me what to do. And they're really good human beings, and they trust me. They know I'm just a human being, and I'm writing music for myself, and they're coming along for the ride of writing music for myself. They never asked me to do anything with someone else or pushed me to write about something I didn't want, or said no to a single that I really believed in. And I think I have the right people around me, and that's the most important thing. But yeah, other artists, yes.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask that, sort of hoping that would be that would be the answer, man. Because I don't know. I think the music you make is so flippin' cool, and I can't wait to hear more of it. And I'm glad to hear that you're writing now and that you're in good spirits and that these are weird times, but despite it all, you know, I think great position to be in. And thanks for making time for me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, anytime. I appreciate you chatting to me. No worries at all.
5FM. Watch 5FM TV on YouTube. 5FM.